Heretic. Just the name stirs a touch of mystery and provocation, doesn't it? Imagine walking into what seems to be a regular, if slightly offbeat, scenario, and finding it becoming a theological battleground. A game where every belief you hold is challenged, turned inside out, and handed back to you as if to ask, "Are you sure about that?" This thriller from 2024 does precisely that. Now, imagine our two protagonists, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, young Mormon missionaries, knocking on a door that, in all likelihood, they thought would open to yet another polite, perhaps disinterested stranger. But they get Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant. Yes, Hugh Grant, who we know can charm or even provoke, is here like you've never seen him before, pulling us into this enigmatic role with an intensity that is absolutely hypnotizing. So there they are, these two missionaries entering a space they thought they understood. But Mr. Reed doesn't just take an interest in their mission, he goes all in. And when I say all in, I mean he challenges everything they believe with a kind of unrelenting curiosity and psychological finesse that only someone with a deep, possibly troubled past could muster. He draws them in, little by little, until their faith becomes something tangible, a thing they need to hold on to, defend, even re-examine. The movie doesn't simply ask its characters questions about belief, it demands answers. But here's the kicker. It doesn't wait politely for a response. It presses, pushes, and even punishes them if they can't find those answers quickly enough. And what makes this narrative truly interesting is the gradual reveal of Mr. Reed. Now, some theories had speculated wildly before the film's release. Who was he, really? An ex-believer? Disillusioned and bitter? A symbolic devil figure, perhaps? These ideas, these tantalizing interpretations, all swirl around, especially when he's in full swing, probing every crack in these young women's armor. Hugh Grant's portrayal of Reed is anything but casual. Every word, every look is meticulously crafted to unsettle, to draw out doubt. But the horror here is not about jump scares. It's psychological. It's the horror of facing one's own convictions, holding them up against relentless scrutiny and realizing that sometimes the answers you thought you had just don't hold up. Heretic makes you sit with that discomfort, the unease of watching someone's faith unravel. You don't know what's going to happen next because it doesn't play by traditional horror rules. There's no simple escape, no hero waiting to rescue them, and certainly no comforting "everything will be all right." The film's narrative rhythm takes its time, letting these intense exchanges marinate. Reed's house, his supposed safe space, becomes a prison of sorts, each room feeling more like a layer of psychological tension than a physical space. The audience alongside Barnes and Paxton feels that grip of isolation, the knowledge that, in this house, ideas are as dangerous as any weapon. And while some horror films might rely on the grotesque or the supernatural, Heretic reminds us that sometimes the most terrifying thing is simply the power of words, of questions posed in just the right way to make us stumble. Reed doesn't need a physical weapon, his words are piercing enough, and the performances amplify this. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East bring a vulnerability and a rawness to their roles that gives this thriller its pulse. They portray young women whose faith isn't just a part of their identity, it's their core, and you can feel it shattering, piece by piece with each encounter. The layers of band theories about Reed's character were intense before the film dropped. Was he a former believer with a vendetta? Was he perhaps a figure representing doubt itself? Or maybe, as some speculated, was he more sinister, a sort of metaphorical embodiment of the devil? Well, theories came and went, but once you watched the film, you realized it's far more ambiguous. Beckenwood's designed Reed as someone who reflects back the unresolved parts of his guests, mirroring their doubts, fears, and uncertainties. It's as if Reed becomes the embodiment of that question we sometimes avoid. What if I'm wrong? So, as we watch Barnes and Paxton grapple with Reed's relentless questioning, it's impossible not to feel the weight of their struggle, to sense the exhaustion of trying to hold on to something as slippery as faith under relentless attack. By the end, the viewer is left not with clear answers, but with that uncomfortable, lingering question of what they themselves might believe if pressed hard enough. This film isn't just an experience, it's a challenge, a confrontation with our own perceptions of faith and doubt. Heretic invites you into a cerebral horror story where every moment leaves you questioning who you'd be in that house, faced with Mr. Reed, defending your own beliefs, wondering if they're as solid as you once thought. So what do you think? Is Heretic a story that's hitting close to the bone? Have you ever felt that unsettling push against something you once thought unshakable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear where you stand on this one. And as always, if you're intrigued, if this story speaks to that part of you that loves a film that dares to question, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For more thoughts and further details, you'll find everything in the description.